every single night, but almost every single night that I knew. And you would hear this cry. It's the first time that ever happened. Well, your prayers get answered around here pretty quick, man. This is awesome. You know what would be great about now? A jet. Jesus, I need a jet. I need a jet. I'm just going to try it out, right? It worked. Woo, that worked pretty good. This is going to be a world-renowned place, Ozark, right? People are going to fly in from all over the world. I believe that's prophetic. Go ahead, give you another shot. Try it one more time. Come on, you're a doctor. Amen, we got one. 8 o'clock every night, my father would go in and he'd begin to just cry out. I'd hear this noise. Me and my brothers were all athletes, right? So we would have the ball game on, and we would hear the noise. And he was ruining our game. So we actually had to get up. Remember those days when you actually had to get up and actually turn the volume up? Now we just do it on our iPhones, right here. Let me call the TV right there, and I'll text message it, and it'll turn up, right? No, those days you actually had to get up, so we would turn it up. Then my dad would be praying. It would be loud. I'd have to go turn it up again. And he was ruining our game, but he was after God, and I thought it was extreme. And I didn't understand it as a young kid. But let me tell you, now I do the same thing. Because he was crying and yearning for something. And that's the kind of household I grew up in. Thank God I had it in my house, because I certainly didn't have it in my 500-member religious church, my Assembly of God church. Good people, great people. But let me just put this disclaimer. Some of them will be watching, I'm sure, tonight. And they heard me tell it, but they're great people. They cook good meals. They were sweet. But let me tell you, good people let people go to hell. I mean, we got to get past good people. Jesus didn't say, go be good people. He said, give your life, take up your cross, follow me, leave it all behind, leave everything the world has, and come follow me. You'll be a fisherman. Come, give it all up. Every dream, every desire, I want it all. Take it all. I want it all. I want it all. Come on, that's a different level than a nice little good person. Come on, raise your hands. What was my church like? I say it as a joke. Some guy came in and we heard a guy died in church, and they took out 2 rows before they found the right guy. I know my ministry doesn't do good with jokes. It doesn't. Jesse Duplantis does good with jokes. I don't do good with jokes. But that's the kind of church. I watched this thing, man. I was sitting down. I watched this thing called Christianity. I watched this thing called church. This form, this religious man-made endeavor. I saw people come in and kind of like bored, you know. First of all, if you sat in their seat, they would come in and say, this is where I normally sit. And they would, come on, how many know? Our family sits on the 6th row, just, 2 seats in. Don't you know that? And they get grumpy and grouchy if you're in their seat. I watched this. I watched when the pastor was like nervous as anything. He had to make sure it was short. Well, before that, he was very scared to talk about money, because you don't talk about money in New York, New Jersey. You don't talk. You just let them be materialistic. You don't talk about things. And so he was very scared. He's, listen, and the church has some needs tonight. If you can just maybe just drop something in really quick and hurry. And okay, Lord, bless the offering, and then we'll get to the holy part of the service. No wonder people didn't give their life. No wonder you had to pull teeth to get somebody to work in the nursery. I've had reactions in Ozark I've never had before. This is good. What's going to happen by Friday? And normally at the offering, everybody went to get a drink of water. Everybody had to go to the restroom. The altar call, people were at the edge of their seat. Why? Not because they're ready to receive something, because they're ready to leave. They had to watch a Giant game. You can never touch into the 1 o'clock, the Giants. Come on, raise your hand if you're still with me tonight. Can we have somebody play softly behind me? Thank God I had it at home because I didn't have it in my church. And some people are not able to make that separation between Jesus and his backslidden, lukewarm church. And I didn't want anything to do with the ministry. I was on my way to a professional athletics career. I was fulfilling a dream. And God snatched me. I won't go into all the details tonight about that, probably not even this week. You don't need to know that. But God snatched me and said, will you? Who will? Will you? I was on my way. I had my own career. I had my own plans. I had my own desires. I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I love him with all my heart. And I'm on my way to fulfill my own thing. But he snatched me and he said, will you? Will you? Who will? Who will? Who will? Who will be inconvenienced? Who will change their plans? And I said, you know what? I don't know what I can offer, but I'm in. I'm in. I'm not kind of in. I'm all in. How many all in? How many all in? Our time, our talent, our treasure, everything we got. I said, I'm all in, Lord. Traveled around. I was here. I traveled around with a great man of God. We went all over the world. I launched out of that New York crusade. I saw how hungry people were for God. We would go up to people and say, have you heard about Jesus? They say, what's a Jesus? Is that a new restaurant or a new club? For some reason, and maybe you don't understand that in southern Alabama, but maybe you'll understand that if you come to my home city in New York. Maybe you'll understand where we live in Miami Beach, South Beach they call it, where every, come on, how many heard of South Beach? Raise your hands. Where every perverted act happens openly. Come with me to LA. I was just in West Hollywood. Welcome to the United States of America. Where the church is a political entity, where we stick scissors in the back of the necks of little babies and we save whales and turtles. We have in Fort Lauderdale, we have a big sign that says that the sea turtles, they're endangered. Don't touch the sea turtle eggs. They'll lay their eggs in it. Don't touch them. Now they have special lights downtown Fort Lauderdale, and it says it right on the big sign. Right after Las Olas Boulevard, then there'll be a big sign. It'll say, the lighting is dimmed, especially for the sea turtle eggs. Sea turtles kill the babies. Throw them in dumpsters. Men lie with men. Women lie with women. Marry them. U.S. government. I was there. I watched 300 gay male couples get married in Boston. I was there the day the law went down. Raise your hand if you're still with me tonight. Just stay with me. I'm almost done. And I had a good minute. I launched after Brother Rodney's ministry. I spent time with Ron Harbunky, and he has that line, right? A church that doesn't win the loss is not even a church at all. And everything was about souls, 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 souls. But it still was the Bless Me Club, right? And the Lord going to bless you, and the Lord going to bless you. And everything was good. But I used to sit in church, and I used to say, there's got to be more than this. How many believe there's more than this? Come on. I said, there's got to be more than this. Now I'm in the ministry. Now I'm having success. And I had immediate success. 1,300, 1,500 people. I'm packing big buildings wherever I go. Churches, I'm 25 years of age. By the time I'm 27, I got a staff of 15. Everything looks good, right? Sounds good. Feels good. I'm on my way to American Christian evangelistic ministry. But now I'm on this side of them. I used to sit there and go, there's got to be more than this. Is this it? Is this what church is? Is this what you intended? What about the gates of hell thing? What about, what? Where was the sons of God at? Why do we have to bait people with how to believe God for a Mercedes and a car and stuff? Well, where's the people that don't want any of it and say, I don't even care, I'm all in. I don't want nothing. I yearn for that. Followers, disciples. I believe that's what Gandhi was looking for. I began to get desperate. I came out of a crusade. I had huge crowds. When I was on this side of the mic, I said, God, there's got to be more than this. I began to cry out. Everybody say cry out. I began to cry out in February 2001. It's our first full crusade in the month of March. 10 years after this ministry, I began to cry out. God just said, get desperate. And as I'm crying out, God said, go back to your home church. A revival will break out. And I was having revival meetings. He said, no, a real revival will break out. I mean, no, it's not what you call something that it is. You can call it an outpouring. You can call it this. That doesn't mean it is it. Hello? In fact, when it really happens, you won't even have to put your own label on it. And if it happens, you don't want to put your own label because you don't want to take any glory for it. Listen, as I close, raise your hand if you're still with me tonight. Hold on, let me just have another sip of this. I went back to my home church. I won't give you all the details, but the Holy Ghost came down. People that couldn't even stay 1 hour. These meetings went 3.5 months, right up until September the 11th. We were 40 miles from ground zero. There's people in the church whose family members were under the brick and the rubble. My family lost personal friends under the concrete. One of our close family friends was on the 98th floor, fell down. But before he did, he called his wife and said, I've led everybody to Jesus in the hallway. God said, go back to your hometown and a revival will break out. And I didn't understand that, but the Lord brought me to this word and he gave me a word. He gave me a word. Now the people that used to say things like that, I got a word, I got a word, I got a word, I thought would be a little weird to me or strange, but God actually gave me a word. He gave me a word for the United States of America and its 487,000 places of worship. And here was the word, and he took me to Luke 14. He gave me a word. Everybody say a word. I was crying out for the Spirit. I was crying out for revival, a move of God, an awakening. And he gave me a word. Everybody say a word. But in the Bible, God gives a word, and then the Spirit comes on that word. Martin Luther got a word like this. No, we're not. You can't sell indulgences. We're saved by grace. He got the word. Everybody say word. And then the Spirit came on that word and just a Protestant Reformation took place. And here was the word. Luke 14. Verse 16. A certain man made a great supper and invited many, and sent his servant at supper time to say that we're bidden, come. Everybody say come. Say it loud, come. For all things are now ready. Everybody say all things. Everybody say now ready. Come on, work with me. The louder we are, the quicker we'll get out of here. Everybody say now ready. Not sure how to take that. Now ready. And they with all one consent began to make excuse. Say that again. All things now ready. Now ready. All things ready. Things. All things ready now. All things ready. All things ready now. Now. Everything. All things are ready right now. But they with all consent began to make excuse. They said, hey, I bought a piece of ground. I must need you. I pray you'd have me excused. Another guy said, hey, I bought 5 yoke of oxen. I go to prove them. I pray you'd have me excused. Everybody say excuse. I got two little ones. My wife came us home, and then we have 2 little ones. Luca, she's 6. My daughter Romy is 3. I'm not doing this because I have nothing better to do. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to make you feel good about me. My 6-year-old's 6. I missed 3 years of her life. My 3-year-old's 3. I missed a 1.5 years of her life. I'm not doing this or here in Ozark because I want you to hear this and get this. This is important. Make this sacrifice worth it. Get a hold of what the Spirit of God is saying to His church in this hour. Listen to what He said. They all began. We have little Luca, and she has to come to the table, and we make them say, "Can I be excused?" They just can't leave the dinner table. They have to ask to be excused. May I be excused, please? Daddy, may I be excused, please? That's what these guys were doing. They can't. Excuse me. Can I be excused, please? You know what that means when Luca says, "Can I be excused?" You know what that means? She's got something more interesting she's got to go do.